Did you wake up tired? No, I don't mean, 5 more minutes tired. I mean tired in your bones. The kind of tired where you open your eyes and wish you hadn't. Where you slept 7, 8, maybe even 9 hours and still wake up feeling like something's off. Like your body showed up, but your energy didn't. That was me for a long time. And it wasn't burnout. It wasn't depression. It wasn't even insomnia. It was something quieter, something more invisible, a kind of everyday exhaustion I couldn't explain and nobody seemed to take seriously. People would say, just sleep earlier. Maybe try melatonin. Maybe you're just lazy. But I knew deep down this wasn't about being lazy. This was about being disconnected from myself, from rhythm, from the way my body was actually designed to function. And here's the part I didn't understand back then. You don't start your day when you wake up. You start it the night before. And the way you live across the other 23 hours determines how you feel in that first one. That idea changed everything for me. So I stopped chasing hacks and started rebuilding my rhythm, piece by piece. Not with expensive gadgets or supplements, but with 4 simple habits that no one taught me. And yet they changed my mornings, my focus, and honestly, my life. In this video, I'm going to share those 4 habits. But I need to be clear with you. This isn't a fix your sleep in 3 easy steps kind of video. Because you're not a machine. You don't need tweaking. What you need, what I needed, was reconnection. To light, to time, to stillness, to movement. Each of these habits sounds simple, but what they do inside your biology is anything but. And by the end of this video, you might realize it's not that you've been failing to rest. It's that the world has been training you not to.
Habit 1. Light before screens.
I used to wake up and grab my phone before I even got out of bed. Emails, messages, Instagram, sometimes news, usually stress. I didn't think twice about it. It was just how the world worked. And honestly, I thought it was helping. I thought, let me catch up. Let me get ahead. Let me just check one thing. But what I didn't realize is, the first thing you feed your brain each morning becomes the lens through which you experience the entire day. And I was feeding it noise. Before water, before sunlight, before my own thoughts even had a chance to show up. So no wonder I felt like I was chasing my energy all day. I was waking up inside the chaos instead of rising out of it. Then I heard something that changed me. Your brain doesn't know what time it is. It knows what light tells it. Dr. Andrew Huberman. And that's when it hit me. My body wasn't confused. It was being misled by the blue glow of a screen before the sun even touched my face. So I tried something. I stopped grabbing my phone in the morning, just for the first 10 minutes. Instead, I stood by the window or stepped outside, let the light hit my eyes, let the air hit my skin. And something shifted. I felt clearer, like my system was aligning to something older, more natural, like it had been waiting for that signal. This wasn't some morning routine hack. It was biology. See, your body has something called the circadian rhythm, an internal clock that controls nearly every system inside you. Hormones, temperature, alertness, digestion, mood. And the main cue that tells that clock what time it is? Light. Not just any light, natural light. Morning light. The kind that only exists in the first few hours after sunrise. When that light hits your eyes, especially without sunglasses or windows in the way, it sends a signal to your brain. It's daytime now. Let's wake up. Your cortisol levels spike, in a good way. Your melatonin shuts off. Your brain gets the green light to be alert, focused, alive. But if your first light is artificial, your brain gets confused. It thinks it's still night. It delays everything, including your energy. And if the first thing you see is notifications, red dots, urgent texts, your nervous system doesn't ease into the day. It launches into defense mode. So instead of starting your morning in alignment, you're starting in survival. That's what I was doing, every day, without even realizing it. And once I stopped, once I gave my brain light before screens, my mornings became mine again. No rush, no reactivity, just a few minutes of quiet alignment. Sometimes I go outside, sometimes I open the window. Sometimes I just sit, eyes closed, and let the light come through. But no matter what, I don't touch my phone until I've touched the real world first. It's one of the smallest changes I've ever made, and one of the biggest differences I've ever felt. Because now, I don't wake up into the world, I wake up with it. And that's a completely different kind of energy.
Habit 2. Eat earlier than you think you need to.
There was a time when 9:30 p.m. dinners felt normal to me. I'd finish work late, cook something heavy, eat in front of a screen, maybe some dessert, and then crash into bed around midnight thinking, okay, I earned this. But I always woke up foggy, heavy, like I hadn't rested, just blacked out. I blamed stress. I blamed screens. I even blamed my mattress. But no one ever told me the truth. If you're still digesting while you sleep, your body isn't recovering. It's working. That one hit hard, because I was doing everything right after dinner, but never questioned the timing of dinner itself. The science is simple. When you eat, especially a big or high-carb meal, your core body temperature rises. Your insulin levels go up. Your heart rate stays slightly elevated. All of which tells your nervous system, hey, we're still active. But for deep sleep to happen, and I mean real, cellular repair sleep, your body needs the opposite: lower temperature, stable blood sugar, no digestive load. So the very thing I thought was comforting, a full belly at night, was keeping my system too busy to rest. I was lying in bed, but my body was at work. So I tried something different. I started eating dinner 3 hours earlier, even when it felt inconvenient, even when it felt weird, even when no one else around me was doing it. I started eating around 6:30 p.m. Light meals, less sugar, less noise. And you know what happened? I started getting sleepy, naturally. Not passed out on the couch tired, but gently, rhythmically sleepy, like my body was finally syncing with something older than my habits. I didn't even need to fight for sleep anymore. I just let go, and it came. Later, I learned there's a name for this: chrononutrition. It's the study of how when we eat affects our biology, not just what we eat. Studies from the University of California show that people who eat within 2 hours of bedtime lose out on slow-wave sleep, the deep sleep phase, responsible for tissue repair, hormone balance, and memory consolidation. And it's not just about sleep. Late eating messes with melatonin production, disrupts your circadian rhythm, and even increases the risk of metabolic issues over time. But for me, it wasn't about the data. It was about the difference I felt. I didn't wake up starving. I didn't wake up bloated. I woke up light. My dreams felt clearer. My energy in the morning wasn't jolted into place. It just arrived on its own. There's something primal about eating with the sun. Something human. We weren't designed to feast under artificial light at midnight. We were designed to align, to light, to rhythm, to rest. Now, I know, life doesn't always make this easy. You've got work, kids, social stuff, timing. But what if you tried just one meal earlier this week? What if you gave your body that quiet time it's been asking for? Not as a rule, but as an invitation to feel different the next morning. Because I can tell you this: no supplement, no app, no breathing technique has ever made me feel as rested as going to bed with nothing left to digest.
Habit 3. Slow the night before it speeds you up.
For a long time, my nights were loud. Not in volume, in energy. The lights were bright, the content was endless, the thoughts wouldn't stop. I'd tell myself I was unwinding, but I was actually revving up, just in softer packaging. Scrolling, watching, multitasking relaxation. Blue light, bright screens, late snacks, overstimulation wrapped in the illusion of comfort. And I wondered why I couldn't sleep. Here's what no one told me. You don't fall asleep like flipping a switch. You fall asleep the way the sun sets, gradually, quietly, in layers. But we don't give ourselves sunset anymore. We give ourselves Netflix autoplay, or late-night emails, or that one more scroll just to feel caught up. And then we expect our bodies to shut off like machines. But we're not machines. We're rhythm. We're hormones. We're waves. And I was crashing into sleep like a wave hitting concrete. No preparation, no transition, just collision. So I decided to try something radical. I stopped stimulating myself at night. Not completely, not perfectly, but intentionally. I started calling 9 p.m. my soft boundary. The lights got warmer, the sounds got quieter, the pace slowed. I swapped overhead lights for lamps, closed my laptop, left my phone in another room, put on ambient music, read something boring on purpose. And for the first few nights, it felt empty, like I was waiting for something to fill the silence. But then I realized the silence was the thing. That stillness I'd been avoiding was the doorway to everything my body had been asking for. My thoughts softened. My shoulders dropped. I started yawning before I even got in bed, and I hadn't yawned like that in years. This wasn't some evening routine checklist. This was a ritual. And that word matters, because a routine is something you do to be productive, but a ritual is something you do to remember who you are. This was me remembering how to slow down. The science backs this up too. Studies show that creating a predictable wind-down pattern, even just dimming lights and avoiding screens, signals your body to increase melatonin, lower heart rate, and enter parasympathetic mode. Translation, your body gets ready to repair. And when you give it that softness, that time, that signal, it responds with better sleep quality, deeper rest, and a calmer morning. For me, this habit changed more than sleep. It changed my relationship with time. Nights no longer felt like a blurb between dinner and collapse. They became a kind of sacred space, quiet, human, mine. Now, when I skip this, I feel it. Not just in how I sleep, but in how I carry myself the next day. More reactive, less clear, like I forgot to turn something off inside me. So if your nights have felt fast, noisy, disconnected, maybe it's not that you need more sleep. Maybe you just need less everything else. Try giving yourself a little bit of night before the night takes you, and see what your body does with that gift.
Habit 4. Move before the world moves you.
I used to wake up in fight-or-flight mode, eyes open, phone in hand, brain racing. I hadn't even stood up yet, and I was already behind. Behind on messages, behind on time, behind on life. And when you start your day that way, something subtle but dangerous happens. Your whole day becomes a reaction instead of a rhythm. So I decided to change that. Not with a workout, not with a routine, with something simpler, movement, early, gentle, intentional. Within 30 minutes of waking up, I started doing something, anything, that got me into my body. Sometimes it's stretching while the kettle boils. Sometimes a walk outside. No destination, just breath. Sometimes 5 minutes of music with my eyes closed and my body swaying like no one's watching, because no one is. And that changed everything. Because here's what movement does. It signals to your brain, we're awake now, not just surviving, not just scrolling, fully alive. Your blood starts flowing, your nervous system shifts gears, your circadian rhythm locks in, like a compass finally finding north. And most importantly, you stop waiting for energy. You generate it. Before I did this, my mornings felt like a fog. I'd stare at screens, wait for caffeine to kick in, hope my brain would boot up by noon. But once I added movement, something shifted, not just in my body, in my mind. I felt more present, more anchored, like I was co-creating the day with life instead of waiting for life to decide how I felt. And it doesn't take much. You don't need a gym. You don't need to sweat. You don't even need motivation. You just need to tell your body, hey, we're here. Let's begin. There's science behind it, of course. Morning movement increases dopamine and serotonin, which help regulate focus and mood throughout the day. It also raises core body temperature, which reinforces your circadian rhythm, meaning better sleep later that night. And the compound effect is real. Move early, better focus, less stress, calmer evening, deeper sleep, easier wake up, repeat. Momentum builds not through force, but through rhythm. Now, I'll be honest, there are still days I don't feel like it. Days when the bed is too warm, when the world feels too heavy, when I want to stay curled up and pretend it's Sunday forever. But I move anyway, not because I have to, because I know what's on the other side of that first step. A little clarity, a little lightness, a little proof that I can choose how I begin. That's all this habit is. A choice to begin before the world begins with you. A choice to arise, not just physically, but intentionally. Because the way you start echoes, and a slow, grounded beginning has a way of changing everything that comes after it.
You're not broken. You're out of rhythm.
Some people wake up and feel ready. No fog, no dread, no fight. I used to wonder what that felt like, because for most of my adult life, I thought waking up tired was just normal. That dragging feeling in the morning, I wore it like a badge. Guess I'm just not a morning person. But the truth is, I was out of rhythm. Not broken, just misaligned. And no one tells you this, but the world we live in trains us to be out of rhythm. We eat light, we stare at light when it should be dark, we wake to noise, we fall asleep to noise, we rush, we react, we forget to breathe. And slowly, we lose our signal. We stop hearing what the body's been whispering all along. I'm not lazy. I'm tired. I don't need more caffeine. I need peace. I don't need to be fixed. I need to be felt. These 4 habits, they weren't a fix. They were a return, a way back to myself, to stillness, to sleep that actually restores instead of just pausing. And what changed wasn't just how I slept, it was how I woke up. More clear, more human, more in sync. If you've been waking up tired, maybe this isn't about sleep at all. Maybe it's about the rhythm beneath it. And maybe, just maybe, you're ready to hear it again. Not because you need to hustle better, not because you need to optimize anything, but because there's a version of you, not far from here, who wakes up feeling whole. And all it takes is a few small choices in the dark that help bring back your light.
If this video helped you feel even a little more at peace in your body, maybe it's worth sticking around. This isn't about chasing perfection. It's about remembering, one habit at a time, what it feels like to wake up as yourself. No pressure, no guilt. So if any of this resonated, consider subscribing, not to follow me, but to keep following you.